So radio frequency is a form of energy that we harness to rejuvenate the skin, both improve fine lines and wrinkles, but also tighten the skin a little bit. It really can be divided into externally delivered, meaning just on the outside of the skin, and internally delivered via microneedles. And then we also have one that delivers radio frequency energy via a probe that goes under the skin. So let's start with the external RF first. We have a number of radio frequency devices at Charlotte Skin and Laser because I'm a big believer in radio frequency energy, both for tightening as well as skin rejuvenation. The externally driven ones, we have one called Pellevé. And Pellevé is delivered through a smaller handpiece. We use that around the eyes, sometimes around the lip area, because it's very focused into a small handpiece. Around the lower face, kind of tightening the jowls and the chin area without downtime, pure external, is the Excellis. And then we have another device called Legacy. It's extremely popular for tightening body areas, particularly kind of the buttocks and thigh areas. We recommend this treatment for women that are fit and take care of themselves, but they just want a little tightening in that area. Probably also helps a little bit with cellulite. We don't use it just for cellulite, we use it for tightening. So all of these devices are externally applied, and the way that the treatment goes is we put a little gel on, and that gel helps cool the skin, and it also helps the probe glide. So the Excellis is a little small probe, a medium probe. The Pellevé is a smaller probe for around the eye, and then the body Legacy is actually kind of a larger hand piece, and it can include a little bit of suction, and that's how it helps with cellulite, but it really helps us treat a larger area on the thigh with the Legacy. So the gel goes on, and then a pattern is followed on the skin surface back and forth as the radio frequency energy is delivered into the skin, and you'll feel it get warm. And it actually gets really warm. It gets warm to the point that we tighten collagen, but not so warm that we burn your skin. The feedback comes from you during the treatment. You just tell the operator, wow, it's getting really hot, and they move to another area. The operator can also feel your skin and feel how hot it is. We do have temperature gauges that we can use on the skin, but it's mostly your feedback. Because when you get to a level that's too hot, you just feel it and you say it's too hot in that area. A little series of treatments is needed, and there is zero downtime. When you're done, it'll look a little red, but by the time you get to the car, that should be gone. So you can do this anytime without any worry of social issues or work. It does involve gel. So a lot of times we'll have you change into a gown, so we're not getting it on your nice clothes and pull your hair out of the way. But I think that's the only inconvenient factor of these externally applied radio frequency is the gel. The next category is energy delivered into the skin via microneedle. So the microneedling RF that we offer is the Infinity Genius. We've had Infinity for a long time. And then we upgraded to the Genius, which is more efficient delivery of energy and better needle. So a lot of people that had the old Infinity, and then we treat them with the new Genius, they think the treatment is amazingly different, less painful, less downtime. I have spoken to patients while they're checking out after their treatment, and I think they're checking in to get their treatment. There's so little downtime. For most people, if you're on a blood thinner, you can have some bruising. So that's the Infinity Genius. I like that for lower face and neck, crepey skin in this area, the little smile lines and a little tightening here. I like it because it improves the skin as well as tightens a bit. Neck, as long as you're not too loose in the neck, not real good for turkey neck, good for crepey and skin changes. The décolleté lines stimulates collagen renewal, and often we'll do these treatments with a biostimulatory filler like Radiesse or Sculptra. You can also use it off the face, like crepey skin on the elbows or knees. That's probably best done with a biostimulatory filler in combination, because the biostimulatory filler increases cellularity of the skin that then produces collagen. We also offer Agnes. Now, Agnes is also radiofrequency microneedling, but a larger needle in terms of length and an array of needles, a number of different needles. So some are really small for like fine lines here, but we use Agnes primarily to treat fat pads under the eye, because the very intense focused radiofrequency melts fat. So it's a non-surgical way to shrink up the fat pad around the eye, the so-called malar fat pad here, the thing that sticks out, and everyone comes in for me to treat that with filler, but it's very hard to treat with filler. I'll generally recommend reducing it with the Agnes radiofrequency treatment. Large nasolabial folds and jowl. We've been thrilled with how it treats a jowl and tightens the skin along the jawline. Agnes, in my mind, has helped me treat my cosmetic patients much better, because I can use it to reshape the lower face and tighten. I call it kind of shrink wrapping, because it shrinks that jowl. Then we can use dermal fillers to rebalance the face this way. So if I have a really heavy face here, and I try to use just fillers to lift the face, you end up getting too much filler here. So I think it goes in conjunction with dermal fillers. So that's the Agnes, and you can understand now that it's used a little bit differently than the Infinity, and they can actually be used together. So we use the Agnes on the jowl, but then the Infinity all over the area for that skin rejuvenation and tightening out here. The last thing that we offer is the internal probe with radiofrequency. The internal probe that we use is called ThermiTite RF. And that feels a little bit like a surgical procedure because we numb the area. The most common area we do is the neck. And the probe goes under the skin and delivers that radiofrequency energy right at the skin. And the benefit with that is I can get much higher temperatures under the skin than I can on the surface. So that's the ThermiTite RF. Most commonly we use on the neck, but you can also use on the arms and the abdomen as well. Sometimes inner thighs, but those are more challenging areas to treat. So that's the radiofrequency. How does it work? Well, radiofrequency energy, when it's put in the skin, it meets resistance in the skin, and that resistance translates to heat, and the heat tightens. So it's heat delivered tightening and rejuvenation. It's very safe, but I can't use it if you have a pacemaker or an implantable device, a cardiac device. Typically with the external treatments, a series of treatments is needed versus one treatment with the ThermiTite. The last radiofrequency treatment that we offer is Profound. And Profound is a microneedling radiofrequency treatment, just like the Infinity Genius, but the difference is the pulse duration of the delivery of the energy. So Infinity radiofrequency delivers a really quick delivery of the energy. So all you need to control discomfort there is a little topical numbing. But when we deliver that radiofrequency with the Profound, it's delivered over a 4-second cycle, and that gets really hot, so we have to inject numb with that. So you have downtime both from the injection of the numbing, which is bruising and swelling, and the duration of the pulse duration. So the Profound I like on heavier, lower bases, a little bit thicker skin, not necessarily heavy, and it treats neck and jowl, and that's the Profound radiofrequency treatment.